This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Kurt, we have another question here from adfreeshows.com. Slapnut Justin Bracken.
There's a lot of slap nuts.
Yeah, a lot of slap nuts. Justin's a good old slap nut. I like Justin a lot. He asks lots of great questions on different shows. And he said, I know you said you've never been a politician in the locker room, Kurt, but when you came back to WWE and they gave you that GM gimmick, did you argue against it? If not, do you think it would have gone anywhere if you did? Or would have Vince just said, God damn, pal, you're my GM?
Well, Vince would have probably said that. But for me, at that particular time when I went back to the WWE, you can't forget, I left the WWE in 2006. I spent 11 years in TNA. Came back to WWE. I was at the age of 48. That's not exactly a spring chicken. So when you come back to the WWE that late in your career and they offer you the GM role, you better freaking take it. You don't have any other options. You know, what they did promise me at that time, doing the Hall of Fame, being the GM, and then wrestling. And that's what I did in that particular order. I wish I would have been different. I wish I would have wrestled first, did the GM role, and then the Hall of Fame third. But it wasn't in the cards for me because Vince McMahon, I believe, he forgave me for leaving the company, but
yeah,
I'll forget.
I mean, at this point, Kurt would have taken the damn assistant to the GM role. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
That's what we're.
Hey, I just want to go back to WWE for the fans. That's all I want to do. I want to go back and retire to say thank you to the WWE universe. That's the only reason I wanted to go back.
And we're so grateful that you did, Kurt. Seriously.
Thanks.
Yep. Adfreeshows.com top guy Brian Haremza asks, did Kurt watch any of the NCAA wrestling championships? And if so, other than Gable Steveson, was there someone that caught your eye and that you enjoyed watching?
You know what? The NCAAs this year was incredible. Some of these guys are such good athletes. It's like this new type of training, you know, the core training and all the parkour training and all these crazy stuff that they do now. It's made them into a lot better athletes than we were in our younger days.
Yeah.
But you know, I was watching and I saw a kid that caught my eye. He was from Penn State. He was a 197 pounder. He won the NCAA Division I championships. His name was Max Dean. I think he would have the ability to cross over to WWE. I would like to see that if that's possible.
Guys, Max Dean, do your homework, look him up.
Penn
and
State.
You heard it here first on the Kurt Angle Show when he comes a big star one day. So there you go.
I know my stars.
That's right. He does. He knows his stars. And so, no, that's cool, man. And you never know what could happen. And one day, guys could say, hey, I remember when Kurt Angle spotted him. And then there's a wrestling company that's going to be like, we need to hire Kurt Angle as a consultant. This guy can pick some talents. There you go. Hey,
that's probably not going to happen. But
that's what Gerald Briscoe did for many years, you know.
You're right. You're right. He recruited quite a bit.
Yeah. So there you go. Adfreeshows.com top guy John Hickson, good buddy, he said, what is Kurt's Mount Rushmore of collegiate wrestling? And then he shares his. Mine's Dan Gable, John Smith, Cale Sanderson, and Danny Hodge. So if you had to pick,
pretty damn good.
You had to pick four guys.
Okay, my four, it's almost identical to his. The only person I would take out, and it's not because he doesn't deserve it, but it's because this other person deserves it more. I would say John Smith, Dan Gable, Danny Hodge, and a guy named Dave Schultz from Foxcatcher, the guy that got shot and murdered by John DuPont from Team Foxcatcher. Dave was the greatest wrestler I ever saw in my life. Greatest technician, most intense wrestler I've ever seen, a badass. And, you know, it wasn't that he dominated. He did dominate, but not as much as the other wrestlers that we're talking about. So, you know, Dave won a world championship. He might have won two, and he won the Olympics. But his brother actually did better. His brother won 3 world championships and made 2 Olympic teams. But Dave was the best. He was the greatest technician of all time. I learned so much from him, and I had so much respect for him. I have to put him in the top 4 in the Mount Rushmore.
What about some of these other guys you mentioned, like John Smith? For those that maybe never really followed amateur wrestling.
John Smith was one of the best takedown artists I've ever seen. He had a new move called the low single. he would attack really low, right around the ankles. He was so quick, you couldn't catch him. And whenever you go to step in to tie up with him, he was already on your foot. He had your leg. It was just incredible. And he had this technique called the low single that he dominated. He went through, I believe he won 4 or 5 world championships and 2 Olympics, all back to back, 7 years in a row. The only wrestler to do that from the United States. So John Smith is definitely up there. Kenny Monday is another one I would put up there, but not right now. I'm going to go with Danny Hodge, Dave Schultz, Dan Gable, and John Smith.
There you go. Good stuff. All right. Adfreeshows.com slapnut Matt Sangervasi says, Kurt Angle, there has been a big debate over the Ad Free Shows Network that Mr. Arn Anderson started, and we wanted to get you to weigh in on this. I know there's you're a big healthy eater, and chicken snacks are awesome, but on your cheat day, what belongs on your burger? Cheese or bacon? Or is it cheese and bacon, or no cheese or no bacon? Like, what do you like on your burger?
Okay, that's easy. Come on, Paul. You know this. It's cheese. And you know why? Because cheese is made from milk, and I absolutely love milk. You don't know that? Come on.
Arn Anderson doesn't want cheese on his burger.
Cheese over bacon.
Arn Anderson doesn't believe cheese should be on a burger.
Oh, Arn's out of his freaking mind.
Yeah, I am with you.
Milk belongs with everything.
That's right. A milk product. That's what you're trying to say. He's putting over
yes, I am.
I love it. Yeah, man. Cheese, and my son is a big time, always wants the bacon cheeseburger. I don't have to have a bacon on my burger, but a cheeseburger, come on.
You know what? For me, bacon's extra fat. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, if we want to be ridiculous, go ahead. I'm not going to complain.
Throw a few pieces of bacon on there.
Yeah, why not?
Make it more delicious.
So do you like to have like a little summer cookout and throw a couple burgers on the grill every now and then?
Oh, yeah. But I use 98% fat-free ground beef.
So there's absolutely no flavor.
2 grams of
There's
fat.
like no juice coming out of that burger.
No, they're not. God. It's not. It's hard as hell when you eat it.
Oh my God.
And most of it burns. It just burns right away.
What are you doing? Oh man.
I make sure the meat is charred, because when it's charred, there's less fat in it. See, there are a lot of tricks and trades to dieting.
Yeah, so what do you do to make it taste good? Any trick, the topping or something? Like, what do you do to choke it down? Milk?
Cheese.
Yeah, I guess cheese.
and bread. That's good enough. You don't need all that fat. You have flavors from cheese and bread and the burger. The burger, I mean, it's mostly protein, but protein has a little bit of flavor to it.
Are you a lettuce and tomato and onion kind of guy? Pickle?
Of course. But no ketchup, because it's sugar.
Okay.
And I'll have mustard, because it's only 8 calories per serving.
If we could all just live like you, that'd be amazing. All right.
Very complicated.
No, it's good stuff. Adfreeshows.com slapnut Martin Watchhorn says, amazing show. Love listening to every episode. Hey, thank you, Martin. We are having so much fun doing the show. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but Kurt and I have a blast doing this, so I appreciate that. He said, I got 2 questions. Firstly, could you tell us where winning the title versus Bobby Lashley at Wembley sits in your best career moments? So let's answer that first one. Well,
it has to be in my top 10, and the reason is I was very late in my career. I was probably 47 years old at this particular time. And to win that world title that late in my career, it meant a lot to me. So I definitely have to put in my top 10 of my best matches of all time, at least most memorable matches. But that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I would say top 10.
He goes on and says, secondly, after so many great matches in the UK for WWE, TNA, Rev Pro, etc., what are your fondest memories of working in England?
You know what? I've gone over to England a million times. Had a blast every time. Absolutely love working in front of those fans. But the year between TNA and WWE, I went over there like 4 times. I was doing indie shows. And I wrestled Cody Rhodes, Del Rio, Joe Coffey, and Zack Sabre Jr. Wow. And I absolutely loved working over there during that time. And the fans were awesome. And you know what? These were indie shows. And there were like 9,000 fans in the seats. It was just incredible. Though at least ICW was that packed. Rev Pro or WCPW, I think they had about 6,000 fans. So they fill the arenas over there, even with their independent shows.
Talk about working with Zack Sabre Jr., because he's a name that has made the rounds a lot in the indies. What did you think of working with him?
Oh, I thought WWE was going to sign him right away.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that he's not signed by a major company right now, because he's that freaking good. I had an incredible match with him. And, I was, at that time, 47, 48 years old. And having that type of match with Zack Sabre Jr., I knew what kind of athlete he was. He was incredible. And, the fans absolutely love the kid. Like, he was so well known over there. He's like their country hero.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he absolutely is. And I know he's done some stuff with some NXT tournaments and stuff like that, but again, never had that, like you said, that big run or whatever in one of the big companies. So that would be great for him to be able to do that. Our final question this week, Kurt, comes to us from Top Guy Zol Lopez. And he says, is there a title belt that was more difficult to haul around from arena to arena? Is there one belt that you were like, my God?
All the titles were a pain in the ass. You had to carry those things to the arena, to your car, to the hotel, to the airport, take it through security, take it on the plane. It was a fucking nightmare. Anytime you were world champion, you had to do that. It was such a pain in the ass. But I will tell you, the heaviest one, the one that was the most pain in the ass, would have been the World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
It's the biggest and the heaviest, and that would have
that big gold World Heavyweight
Championship. Yes,
yeah.
The big gold on the front.
Yeah. Now you also carried what they call the Big Eagle, which is that was earlier.
Yes, that was the first title I won.
I love that belt.
That was my favorite title. I was
going to ask you what your favorite one was as a belt, Mark. Yeah, that was your favorite one.
It was.
I love that belt so much.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.